Prosecutors have called her credibility into question after they found that she lied on immigration and tax forms. And there's even been reports that the case against Strauss-Kahn could be dropped entirely after a huge arrest, and a huge $1 million bail and the perp walk and the whole bit. So who does her media blitz benefit the most? Joined now by David Schwartz, who's a defense attorney and former prosecutor, and Tom Kniff is a criminal defense attorney. Gentlemen, welcome.
Hi.
Good to have you both here today. So now we're back to sort of hearing her side of the story, because it looked like there was a lot of egg on everyone's face, because everyone assumed that the story was as she said it was in the beginning. He was arrested with great fanfare and a huge bail that surprised a lot of people in this city. So now we've got her side of the story. How's it shaping up for you?
Well, we have another courtroom here, and that's the court of public opinion. And unfortunately, that plays a role in some of these cases, Martha. I think she helped herself a lot today. She was being bad-mouthed beyond belief. There was a strong attack against the credibility of this victim. And I think she helped herself, and I think she helped keep this prosecution going. And certainly there's a civil case here, and they're going to say that she's in it for the money. But the bottom line is, the jury could grasp onto this story and believe it.
There was a quote this morning in the paper that says that she reached out to a friend of hers out on the West Coast who is in detention center in Arizona, not on the coast, and she told him something to the effect of, "Don't worry, this guy has a lot of money and I know what I'm doing." All right, so there's a lot of speculation about her character. What do you think about that, Tom?
Right. Well, the key words that David mentioned, she helped herself. She may, we can argue whether she helped herself or not, but one thing for sure, she did not help the prosecution in this case. Rest assured, Ben Brofman and DSK's legal team are watching that interview, watching that videotape, and they're salivating. The scariest thing as a defense attorney, Martha, is when you hear a witness's recounts of an event for the first time at trial, because you have very little, if no, ability to develop plan out a good cross-examination and develop prior inconsistent statements.
Let's take a look at the statement from Dominique Strauss-Kahn's attorney on this. We can put that up on the screen and everybody can take a look at it. Ms. Diallo is the first accuser in history to conduct a media campaign to persuade a prosecutor to pursue charges against a person from whom she wants money. But I would present this to you both, and I want to get your thoughts on this. There's been a lot that has surfaced about this man, okay? There's a prior allegation in France. There's also a story that came out from that same woman who's accusing him in France. Her mother says that she was in a very, aggressive situation with him. She says it was consensual, but that he was extremely aggressive, brutal, I think she said. So this is a man who has a history of women making these complaints about him. This woman could be as incredible as the day is long. She could have this guy and she could be trying to get money out of him. It doesn't change the fact that she may have been assaulted by this man.
And that's where corroborating evidence comes into play in this case. And I think that's what DA Vance is really studying here. If you had to go in on her testimony in and of itself, this case would not fly. But there is corroborating evidence. There is evidence of some sort of sexual assault in this case.
I've just got 15 seconds. I want to get your thoughts on that, because none of this matters if he assaulted her.
Absolutely. There's evidence of a sexual encounter, but there's very little evidence of an assault. And this is a classic he said, she said, a classic date rape case where we had sex. One party says it was by force. He says it was consensual. Right. The DA's got the burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right. Gentlemen, thank you. This one's not over. That much we know now. Thank you very much, Tom Kniff,
Thanks, Martha.
David Schwartz, for being here today. We're going to take a quick break. We'll